Good evening, fans. This is Biff Burns in the sports room. And we have a particularly appropriate guest with me now, with the Olympics only a few weeks away. He's Big Steve Warbler, and he's the world champion high jumper. And you're going to be hearing a lot from Big Steve. Welcome to the sports room.
Well, it's good to be here. I'd like to make one correction, though, Biff.
Sure.
You said I was the world champion high jumper. Actually, I'm the world champion low jumper.
Well, can't be very much difference between the two events. What's your best mark in the low jump?
I jumped 57 feet 8 inches, which is about 50 feet farther than the record high jump.
Sounds as if there might be more difference between the two events than... Of course, you and I know what that difference is, but for the benefit of the fans looking in, would you care to explain it?
Oh, sure. Well, in high jumping, you stand in a low place and see how high up you can jump. And in low jumping, you stand in a high place and see how far down you can jump.
Well, Big Steve, you and I both know the answer to this next question, but for the benefit of the fans looking in, would you care to comment if that's all there is to it?
No. If you jump from a high place and get killed, then that jump does not count. And that's why my 57 foot 8 inch record still stands.
This may be an embarrassing question for you, but I've got to put it anyway. Isn't this kind of a dumb sport that would only appeal to a big lummox like yourself, who has rocks in his head?
Well, I guess you could make a pretty good argument for that, Biff. But no, I like low jumping a lot better than high jumping. See, in high jumping, you can strain a tendon, pull a muscle on the way up, and break a bone, maybe on the way down. But in low jumping, all you have to worry about is what happens to you on the way down.
Well, I can see the logic there, although it may be a little too complicated for some of the fans looking in. At any rate, I understand that you're trying to get the Olympic Committee to consider this as a major track and field event, the low jump.
Well, see, it's a little too late for this year's Olympics.
Right.
But I haven't been able to interest the Olympic Committee at all in the event, so I don't know. There's a producer here in New York who wants to have us jump off the Palisades over in New Jersey into the Hudson River. But that would not be an official jump because you can't land in anything soft like water or anything.
Oh,
No.
I thought the object of the whole thing was just to live through it.
Yeah.
I didn't know the surface you landed on made any...
Jump mostly onto asphalt and concrete. But you can land on natural ground providing it hasn't been softened with rain or moisture or anything.
Right. How about AstroTurf, stuff like that?
AstroTurf's okay, providing the phony grass isn't too tall so as to break your fall, or then again been softened by moisture.
So if you did get this thing accepted as a real official event, I guess you'd have to do it from the window of the downtown office building, something like that?
Yeah, so that's not too satisfactory because in case of a tie then, you have to go up a whole story, which is what, like 10 feet. Now, a much better arrangement would be to use a fire department truck. And in case of a tie, you go up a rung at a time, see?
That makes sense. Now, I know you've done a lot of research on this, Big Steve, and sent out a lot of mailing and so forth. How many entrants do you think there would be from around the world if this got to be accepted?
Well, from the mail I've received, there are two other entrants. One is a Tibetan who puts himself in a trance and jumps off mountains. And the other guy is kind of flaky. He's from France.
All right, well, there would be two, and then yourself would make three, so there would be...
There'll be just two. I've decided not to jump anymore. I figure it'd take a real fruitcake to think you could break a 57 foot 8 inch record that I already hold, you know. And I've learned through experience that low jumping 30 or 40 feet can give you a real headache. So I say, who needs it?
Well, I was going to say that at the outset of the interview, but you've said it for me, and I want to thank you for dropping by the sports room here tonight.
always
Wish
great
you a
to
lot
talk
of
to you,
luck.
Biff. Sure.
Big Steve Warbler. And this is Biff Burns saying until next time, this is Biff Burns saying so long, fans.